Well, hello and welcome back. We would like to introduce to you a wonderful person, a nurse and diabetes educator that has a lot of letters behind her name. So we're not going to mention that, but she is a beautiful person. She's a nurse and she has a beautiful soul and something important and very valuable to share with you guys today. Please welcome Cheri Sacks. She's founder, Chronic Health Wisdom LLC. So she is registered nurse. She's certified diabetes educator and integrative health coach who helps women with chronic illness, fatigue, or caregiving stress reclaim their energy and wellness. Through her path framework, such as personalized care, awareness, transformation equals health, she empowers women to break free from burnout, make confident health decisions, and build habits that last. Hello, Cheri, and welcome.
Hel- Hello, Inga. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Um, Thank you so much for participating. So anything you want to add to your bio that I didn't mention here? Any questions you have about it?
No, I think I tell people to think of me as their neighbor, the nurse. So the person that you would call when you just have questions about your health and you don't want to rely on Google. I can help explain what's going on. I give free consults for things like that. So there's no obligation for something like that.
Oh, I'm excited to learn more about you and what do you do? So I have a couple questions to you, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So first one would be, what are the most common mistakes women make when managing chronic illness and burnout? What do you think?
Well, we think that we can do it all and that we can take care of our family. And a lot of times, because of that, we put our family first and we forget that we have to put on our own mask, like, in the plane. So we have to put on our own emergency mask first. So we have to take care of ourselves in order to take care of our family. We're used to being really great at work and we are used to being in control of what's going on and at our desk or on our floor if we're a nurse, right? But when it comes to our own health, we kind of let that slip. And by letting that slip, we wind up more tired and grumpy, or maybe our hormones are kicking in. Either we're getting our period or we're going through menopause and we're just, not only are we trying not to kill everybody around us dealing with our hormones, but we're also dealing with our health. And it's challenging. There's a lot to navigate.
So true, so true.
Yeah.
So I agree. Especially being a nurse, you're probably dealing with a lot of, or dealt before with a lot of stressful situations. And I think taking care of ourselves means a lot for our family because we can't take care of others if we don't take care of ourselves, correct?
Exactly, exactly. And it's so easy just to when you're moving your kids from one event to the next to stop at a drive-through and grab a hamburger. And, it's also just as easy to grab a salad. So, it's making those healthy choices while we're navigating this really hectic life that we live.
Yes, so agree. We can agree more.
Yeah.
So how does the path framework help women regain the energy and balance in their day-to-day life?
Well, it's the way we kind of walk through life. It's the path that we take. And it's the same path that I take when I work with clients. So first I get to know somebody. I really want to provide personalized care. So we spend a lot of time getting to know each other personally on that personal level. Because in order to coach somebody, you really have to understand what their lifestyle is like, what their health is like, what medicines are they on, or what supplements are they on, or maybe they want to try something more on the holistic side. So
Mhm.
we talk about that. And then we can take an assessment and analyze what's going on and what's that next step going to be. So what's going to work for them? Because it's not worth trying something if it's just going to stress us out more. So we really need to go for those little things that are easy changes to address that transformation, which is that T. So, you take little steps at a time to transform how you're feeling revitalize yourself and get that energy back. And then you're going to come out on the other side of this path and be healthy, or healthier than you were on that first step. And you start over again and you keep going. And, the path is long and winding sometimes, and we have to revisit some things, but it's where we are. And as long as we're making that progress and feeling better, and, we're never going to feel like we did when we were 16, but we may feel the best we can today. So.
Mhm. Yes, making little
Yeah.
changes count, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's what it's about, right?
Mhm. So what role do integrative therapies like Reiki and cannabis education play in chronic care? So that's very interesting subject to me. So I'm very curious about to learn about Reiki myself. So I just
Yeah.
want to hear what you think about it.
So Reiki is kind of the universal energy around us. We're hearing more and more about it, but it's the energy that surrounds and connects us. Think of it as universal energy. It doesn't have to be spiritual. It can be if you want it, but it's that energy that you feel when you're around people and when you connect to somebody instantly, right? Like there's certain ways that you can connect, and Reiki can plug into that and actually heal. And so as a Reiki healer, I can work with somebody in their energy to figure out where their block is or where they need extra support and actually heal them. It's very calming and very peaceful. And it has amazing effects. And if somebody, yeah, so like, I mean, it's like you could just sit there and just have a really quiet moment in time, and I'm doing all the work, or the energy, the universal energy is doing all the work, because our body wants to be well, and Reiki just helps us to get there. And if that doesn't work for you, maybe acupuncture does, and I can help you find an acupuncturist who can work with your meridians. What I found in my long career as a nurse and really believing in Western medicine was that I always thought it's Western medicine, this is the answer. And that's not true. Everybody has their own way of figuring out what's best and listening to their body to feel what's really best for them. And so it may take a lot of different people. You may need a team to find that wellness spot,
Mhm.
because you may have an energy healer, or you may have a health coach, or you may bring somebody, a dietitian, in to really work with their diet and making sure what they're eating is good, right, for you. And so it's a team of people to support you. And I try to bring everybody together so that one person over maybe standing in left field isn't throwing a curveball that's going to go against what somebody else is trying to do. So I try to bring it all in.
Oh, that's amazing. So how about cannabis?
Yeah, cannabis is kind of a different animal. I decided to take a certification in cannabis for two reasons. Because as a diabetes educator, people were coming to me and saying, hey, I'm using cannabis for my neuropathy. It really helps with the pain in my feet and the numbness, and it does. But I wasn't allowed to talk to them because I was under kind of a protocol dealing with the practice that I was in.
Mhm.
And so that one always stuck in the bottom of back in my mind. And it was like, well, why can't I talk to somebody who's bringing something up to me, healthcare related? Why can't I help them bridge that gap and making sure that they're using it safely? And so it stuck. And then fast forward, I wound up having my husband had cancer. And we used cannabis to help him with his cancer side effects of chemotherapy and the repercussions of that, but also as he was transitioning to the next phase of life or death, right? Because it calmed him down. He didn't need narcotics, right? Narcotics really were messing with his digestive system, but instead, if we used cannabis to help him eat and to feel comfortable and just to accept more about the world and where he was. We have a system in our body called the endocannabinoid system, but no one teaches us in nursing school or medicine, right? Medical school about this system. And so we create these chemicals. We all know the happiness chemicals, right? Oxytocin, norepinephrine, uh, serotonin, dopamine, right? But we also make something called anandamide, which is a bliss molecule, and our body just uses that naturally. It's our on and off feedback mechanism. It tells our body when to speed up what we're producing as far as uh, neurotransmitters or hormones, or when to slow it down. We're making enough, we don't need them anymore. And it's a regulatory system. And so
Mhm.
cannabis actually works on that system, as a supplement. So we're already making these elements in our bodies, but when we don't make enough, we can take cannabis to use it to help supplement. Yeah,
Wow,
fascinating, right? Who
very
told? Who
interesting. Yeah,
knew?
definitely don't learn that in nursing school for sure.
Yeah, right. Well, and that goes back to, the 30s and 40s and when the pharmaceutical industry really started taking over. And we kind of lost that whole holistic side.
Mhm.
So,
And we
yeah.
all different. Our bodies react to different medications, different therapies differently. So it's a wonderful that you have all those kind of different therapies for people
Yeah.
because not everybody is the same, right? Not body is the same. We all created differently and function differently. So it's amazing that there is so much different therapies exist and you can actually adjust it to the person.
Yeah, because it's not, again, it's not about me, it's about them, right? It's really about the person and the person knowing what's going to work best for them, what resonates with them as far as their health care. Everybody's like, oh, I don't want medicines anymore, right? I want to get
Mhm.
off the medicines. Well, that's great. But normally, if we're not taking care of ourselves, we add medicines. Well, what happens if we add something natural and slowly back off of the other medicines? Working with physicians, right? I don't do this in a silo, making sure that the doctor is aware and that we're working together so that we can get people off those medications by supplementing either supplements or cannabis or whatever it is. It doesn't have to make you high. Most of the stuff I use is non-intoxicating for people who want to use it. So,
Mhm. Wow.
yeah.
That's very interesting. I'm very curious to learn more about that too myself.
I could talk for hours.
I would listen for hours. So I'm forever learner, so I love to learn new things. So how can caregivers, especially in just, stressful situations like end life for their loved ones, how can we take care and support the loved one in those situations?
Yeah, it's a great question because so many women get caught in that caregiver situation, right? Not only taking care of the kids, but taking care of your parents or a neighbor who needs something, or it's or because of community, right?
Mhm.
We're a big society. And so we do have to stop and we have to carve out time for ourselves. And it can look different for everybody. Maybe, you're taking care of your mother and you can't leave her, right? And so
Mhm.
maybe you need to take mom on a walk. Maybe it's not as long as a walk as you would really like to go, but at least it's being outside. And so it's doing those little things to take care of yourself or carving out time to really focus on one thing that makes you happy and releases those internal happiness chemicals and to help you find your balance, right? Um, Exercise, getting out in nature, just getting some sunshine, taking a deep breath, especially when we're frustrated, taking
Mhm.
that deep breath and just calming our system and allowing it to come down so that we're not acting out of frustration, but
Mhm.
we're actually able to think about the right solution and not allow emotions to come out. That's part of taking care of ourselves as
Mhm.
caregivers, especially when we're hearing like news that may be devastating or something is just really frustrating and we really just want to yell and we
Mhm.
can't, right? And if that doesn't work, then there's other techniques we can use.
Yes, and it's not only for nurses, right? So
Oh,
it applies to anybody. So anybody can have their mom or their dad or their
mhm.
children in their household. So we all consider caregivers. So it applies to anybody who
Yeah,
deal.
exactly. And it's not just women, right? Like I focus on women because I'm a woman and I've gone through it. So I kind of
Mhm.
look at it through that lens, but men get hit just as hard, right? It's a lot to deal with. And hopefully, people have somebody that they can lean on, whether it's a spouse, whether it's a friend, to help bridge that gap. And if not, I'm here, you can talk to me because sometimes it is about talking and expressing and getting those emotions out so that you don't bombard somebody when when they walk in the door, right? To
Yes.
help you.
Oh, that's, isn't that the
Yeah.
truth?
Right.
Especially coming from the long shift, the nursing bedside shift, it's very hard to not to close inside yourself and not to pay attention to our loved ones. So it's very important to take that little deep breath, long deep breath maybe, and just move away a little bit on the side and just stay away for a while and then come back and just relate to your family. Yeah,
Yeah, that 5 minutes of calm can be a whole reset, right?
make
Especially
different
in the
things.
chaos of life, right?
So true.
Yeah.
So would you give some simple mindset examples of lifestyle shifts that would have impact on a long-term healing?
Um, I think it's really whatever somebody can do, and it's the little things. Eating real food. I mean, a lot, I understand that, in this society, because I'm looking at you and I know that, food is your passion, right? Um, Eating real food is medicine. And we forget that. So it's easy to grab things um, that maybe aren't the healthiest for us. Chips, yeah, I mean, people grab snacks, right? But are you grabbing a healthy chip versus something that's all synthetic?
Mm-hmm.
Making those choices so that if you are grabbing something that's easy, that it's real, that you're grabbing a real cheese slice as opposed to something that's been processed and is more plastic than cheese, right? Like, so making those like small switches that again don't take a lot of effort. It's just as you're picking them up at the grocery store, you just need to think about it, right? And also getting outside, just going for a walk. And some people, your audience, I'm sure, is going to be all over the nation. So here this summer, we're in a heat wave on the East Coast, right? And so even if you can't get outside, just doing something to move, right? Standing up during a television commercial and stretching, right? That just gets the blood flowing. It gets our body back into balance. We're not used to sitting there. We sit at desks all day long and we're not used to doing that. We shouldn't be doing that. We need to move.
Mm-hmm. So little changes make big impact, right?
Yeah, exactly. And
Back to
stepping
basic.
away. Yeah, back to basics and stepping away sometimes. So yeah.
Back to basic. So it's very interesting. I'm very curious to learn more. And so would you tell our listeners where we can contact you? Where can they find you?
Sure. So you can find me at chronichealthwisdom.com. And that's because I didn't want to use chronic illness, right? That's just, it sounds so negative. So chronichealthwisdom.com. And you can go online and find me there. I do give free consults, and I have packages that will fit everybody's needs. And if one doesn't exist, we'll create one because
Oh,
you're the because my clients know the best for themselves. So
wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. And I think Cheri is gonna have something some freebies to share. So whenever we send you guys email, we're gonna attach some free things from Cheri. So would you share what you're gonna share with
yeah.
us, Cheri?
So it's a teeny tiny ebook guide, but it's really on ways to stop overwhelm. So it goes through the things that we've mentioned today. Don't forget to take a deep breath when you're having a lot coming at you. Before you answer a text, and start writing, right? Take that deep breath. Before you answer an email that is not going to come out so good, take that deep breath, right? Really getting back to being centered, thinking about just the world around you and calming yourself before going out, before putting stuff back in the world. So it's helpful hints like that.
Oh, it's wonderful, wonderful, and nice little changes that we can make in our lives. It's just not, for some reason, people think that it has to be complicated, but it is
Yeah.
not. So we always can stay healthy, just going back to basics, literally. So taking care of ourselves, taking care of our environment, delegating. So, and it's
Mhm.
just all little things that matter.
Yeah, it's amazing. And delegation can be mean different to different people. It's funny, people outsource to me so that I can talk to their parents so that they can get one thing off their plate, right? And then just making it easy on yourselves, like you mentioned, right? We don't have to change our whole entire diet overnight. We don't have to start this huge exercise plan. That's not what it's about. That doesn't create lasting habits. So.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Sherry, for sharing those wonderful insights. I'm sure they're going to make big impact on our participants. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
really
Thank you.
curious to learn more about you. I'm sure as our listeners as well. Thank you
Well,
so much.
thank you so much for having me. This has been fun. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. You have a wonderful day and we're
Thank,
looking forward to connect again.
thank you.
Okay.
Bye.